Hey guys, it's the Faceless Beanie, and in this video I'll go through some of the best Warframes and weapons to take on the Prophet Taker solo. If you're looking for a comprehensive guide for the Prophet Taker fight with suggested loadouts, I already have a video for that, so go check that out. This one will be focused on the various options available to take him down, including the builds. Let's get into it. Disclaimer, all status mods should be catered to your own setup. I'll start with the weapons. Primaries. The Exceltra is my go-to. A high fire rate with a decent magazine and a quick reload speed coupled with the critical capabilities make this a no-brainer to run and gun the Prophet Taker. The build will set you back 5 forma, but it's fully worth it since the Exceltra is great outside of the fight as well. Of course, the status mods should be customized depending on your other weapons. Next, the Tenora. It has a 150 ammo magazine and a reload speed of 2.5 seconds. This allows you to keep moving while barely having to reload. Then a sniper rifle, the Vectis or Vectis Prime. With a reload speed of under a second, as long as you don't miss, this will deal substantial damage to the Prophet Taker and is a viable alternative. Finally, the Zenith. This one has a large magazine as well with a great fire rate and quick reload. You can add a forma for Prime Bane of Corpus and even more for 90% status damage mods. Moving on to secondaries. My go-to is the Rattleguts Haymaker Splat Kit Gun. Innate radiation damage along with great critical capabilities and a large magazine make this ideal. The biggest advantage of a kit gun of course is equipping Pax Charge, which turns your magazine into a recharging battery. With some maintenance, you'll almost never have to reload. The Pandero deals a punch with an intense fire rate. Utilizing its secondary fire allows you to burst your entire magazine quickly onto the Prophet Taker, ultimately making quick work of its vulnerability. The build looks like this. Quick draw or primed quick draw are super important since you're reloading continuously. Lastly, the Kuva Nuko. The Status King deals a burst of damage almost instantaneously via its beam and is also great to clear the enemies around you. A magnetic Kuva Nuko is preferred as you can get up to 4 different status types on it. Mine is Toxin and a hybrid build like this will work just fine. Excellent slot is optional, go with the Eject Magazine or Reflex Draw. Keep in mind not to use the Kuva Nuko if you're not using an Exodia Contagion Zor, as the Kuva Nuko does not deal any of the 3 physical damage types. Then the 2 melees. First, an Exodia Contagion Zor. In this case, I've gone with the Varghese 2J Link, the J-Up Grip and the Maven Strike. Just a simple 1 forma build like this will do as long as you have Exodia Contagion. Jump, glide and launch the projectiles. That's all you gotta do. The projectiles themselves deal all 3 forms of physical damage along with a ton of viral damage and some blast damage, along with whatever else you mod it for. Or you could use the Redeemer Prime. Also a 1 forma build, but with this you need to get up close and personal and use your heavy attacks. Still super efficient, just make sure you're managing your health. Then Archguns. The best is no surprise, the Mausolon. It'll make quick work of the Prophet Taker's legs and body itself. A straightforward 2 forma build like this will suffice. However, if you don't have the Mausolon yet, the Imperator Vandal is almost as good. The same build, same forma investment. Finally, the same build applies to the Larkspur as well. You'll have to get up close a little bit with this one, but it gets the job done just fine as well. Moving on to the Warframes. My go-to is Chroma or Chroma Prime. Wax Armor buffs your armor and greatly buffs your damage output. An Elemental Ward with heat gives you additional health. the easiest way to solo the Profit Taker in under 10 minutes without any gimmicks. And you also get a chance to double the credit drop at the end with FPG. The next 3 require the helmet system. If you're new to the Profit Taker and don't want to invest too much Forma, a simple 1 Forma Inaros or 0 Forma Inaros Prime like this will do the trick, as long as you infuse Eclipse. Inaros has fantastic survivability and is an easy way to get used to the Profit Taker. Then Oberon or Oberon Prime, another great budget option. Only needs 1 Forma, but you need Eclipse to be infused for a damage buff in place of Smite. Phoenix Renewal basically gives you a second lease at life, and keeping Renewal on constantly heals you and keeps you alive. Couple that with Eclipse and you have a solid Profit Taker hunter. Finally, Sarin or Sarin Prime. Toxic Lash and Eclipse give you access to toxin damage and damage buffs simultaneously, while the Venom Dose Augment mod gives you additional corrosive damage as well, making it easier to manage Profit Taker's vulnerabilities. Aerodynamic is optional, but makes things much easier, especially if you're using a Contagion Zor. Handspring can be replaced by Prime Sure-Footed if you have it. This is currently the best way to take down the Profit Taker. Of course, optimizing for Umbral mods will give you a better experience. So an ideal setup depends on your melee. If you go with an Exodia Contagion Zor, you'll deal all 3 physical damage types, plus Viral, Blast and 2 more status types with it, which means you can comfortably use the Kuva Nuko for the other status types and fill in with whichever primary you want. If you use the Redeemer, then it only covers 2 status types you mod for, plus slash damage, which means the Exceltra is ideal as your primary to deal impact and puncture. You'll also want to use a secondary that can deal some form of physical damage as well to avoid wasting time switching, so you would avoid the Kuva Nuko in this case. Finally, for spoiler mode, Magus Repair is ideal to heal your Warframe in battle. For your amp, the Pard Scaffold is great to one-shot the pylons with your secondary fire. And either Zenuric for Energy Dash or Vazarin for Protective Dash are both fine. If you're using the latter, bring some energy pizzas with you for emergency energy refills. And that's about it. Of course, there's many other alternatives to what was shown in this video and better optimized builds, but the point was just to give you an idea of what you can use to take down the Profit Taker. With that, I hope this helped you out, and this is the Faceless Beanie signing out.